My name is Ravi Patel. I'm a AI scientist working in biotech. So I work specifically on drug discovery and working mainly with things like deep learning, natural language processing, along those lines. I've been taking part in Skiller Whale sessions for around 6 months. So I guess the way it's happened is I had a friend who was doing some of the session delivery for Skiller Whale. He offered to do a demo session with me, and I think at the time it was on iterators, one of the Python sessions. I didn't really have any expectations at that point. He was just telling me he thought they were really great. So I thought I'd chime in and see what it was like. And I guess attending the session made me realize I was learning about things in two ways previously. So one was the more circumstantial learning you get from feedback from colleagues. So if you're submitting an MR and you get some comments on your code, and then the other is more asynchronous, like watching videos or reading documentation, those sorts of things. The Skiller Whale session that I had in that demo made it quite clear that there are lots of unknown unknowns that you don't really pick up through those two modes of learning, and it exposed to me things I thought I understood well, but on reflection during the session I realized there's more detail to this that I just hadn't been aware of. I just thought the session was really great and a different way of learning, because it was so interactive and the content was quite in depth that I decided to talk to my company about it. I'd say on a day-to-day basis, it's definitely improves the depths of my knowledge in aspects of Python that I was maybe using less regularly previously. More generally, I think the solid principle sessions were a good example of something that's definitely framed how I think about code differently to maybe how I thought about it before. And I think, it's a good example of where a session that's interactive and more a discussion lends itself well, because the solid principles involve a lot of trading off various factors, and just reading about them in isolation isn't always the most helpful way to really ingest them. I think since I started those sessions, I've found that really helpful, especially when I'm either refactoring my own code or reviewing code, to have more of a framework that I feel I've ingested more thoroughly than I had before.